Today we're going to break down one of the greatest DJ transitions of all time by one of the greatest DJs of all time, DJ EZ. DJ EZ is widely regarded as being one of the best and most respected DJs in the world. Besides having DJ skills and an amazing legacy, he has won so many awards, and here they are to just name a few. So yeah, he's the real deal. Now, as you saw in the annotated video, this routine heavily relies on cueing the track like a professional drummer. And you simply cannot do this exact transition if you don't have that finger dexterity. But luckily, I have found a workaround that will enable any DJ, beginner or pro to do this amazing transition on any DJ controller. But there's a catch. To supplement the rapid-fire cue drumming, we're going to be using edited loops to replicate that sound of that cue drumming, which means we're going to be using edited tracks, which fortunately are free to download. So check the links down below, follow the instructions, and go get those songs. Or better yet, just click the big join button down below and get access to all my free DJ edits and secret DJ tutorials. Anyway, so if you've downloaded the edits, let's proceed on with the routine recreation simplification. So let's first break down the songs we're going to use. So on the left on deck 1, we have Battle by Wookie, and it's an edited version of it which basically has a permanent 1-beat loop in the end. So on this track, we have 5 visual cue points. So that means we're not going to be triggering any of them. We're just going to be using them as visual references. And here they are on the screen with the respective time locations. Just copy them. So let me explain these visual cue points. Cue point A serves to signal us when it's time to filter this song. Cue point B, C, D, and E serves to signal us when it's time to do specific patterns on the second song. So for example, when you reach cue point B, do pattern number 1. When you reach cue point C, do pattern number 2, etc. And finally, cue point F signals us when we should be done doing the whole routine. And now let's set up our second song. Now on the right on deck 2, we have All I Do by Cleptomaniacs, and it's an edited version of it that has 2 permanent special loops to replicate that fast cue drumming. So let me explain these edited loops first. The first edited loop, cue point A, is located at the 157.3 second mark. And the second edited loop, cue point E, is located at the 220.7 second mark. So both cue points are permanent 1/4 loops that sync up perfectly with the other song when they're at -10 and +10. So even if both songs are 135.13 BPM, and even if the edited loops will go to -10 and +10, I've adjusted these loops in a way to sync perfectly with the first song when they're at those 2 specific tempo locations. So only trigger cue point A and B when and only when your tempo fader is in the right position. Now, if you want to learn where I learned the skills to make this really clever edit, stick around till the end of the video. Anyway, our third cue point B, is located at the 45.7 second mark, and it's simply the sample before the drop. Before doing this routine, please make sure quantize is disabled, master tempo/key lock is off, and our tempo fader settings are either set to 8 or 10. So with our two songs ready and you briefed on how to use the edited loop cue points properly, let me now teach you how to do this routine. So with battle loaded to deck 1, cue it up from where you want it to be. And since I'll be demoing this routine, I'll cue it up from here. Next, with all I do loaded to deck 2, cue it up via cue point A. And make sure the tempo fader is all the way up or at -10. This is the fader's position we'll start with. Next, play the first song and wait till you reach its cue point A section. Once you're there, from cue point A to cue point B, bring deck 1's filter knob to the 10 o'clock position. Now once you reach cue point B, it'll be time now to start doing the first cue drumming pattern on deck 2. So from cue point B to C, this is the first pattern we're going to be doing on deck 2. Trigger cue point A with the tempo fader up, then trigger cue point E with the tempo fader down, and do this for a total of 3 times. Next, with the tempo fader at the down position, quickly drag it back up and trigger cue point B 3 times to complete pattern number 1. So now let's put these two elements together and do pattern number 1. And now let me demo doing pattern number 1 with the other song once you reach the other song's cue point B position. So once you're done doing pattern number 1 on deck 2, you'll now be at deck 1's cue point C position. So from its cue point C position to its cue point D position, we'll now be doing pattern number 2 on the second song, and this is it. Trigger cue point A with the tempo fader up, then trigger cue point E with the tempo fader down, and do this for a total of 3 times. Then with the tempo fader already at the down position, trigger cue point B 3 times. Before we move on any further, let me first demo doing pattern number 1 and number 2 together. So once you're done doing pattern number 2, you'll now be at the cue point D position on deck 1. So from cue point D to E, we'll now be doing pattern number 3 on the second song, and this is it. With the tempo fader at the down position, immediately drag it back up and start triggering cue point B in quadruple time speed with the other song. Then with you still drumming cue point B, bring the tempo fader down to around this position, and while you're doing that, start drumming cue point B in a different pattern of your choice till you reach the cue point E position on deck 1. So now let's put these two elements together and do pattern number 3. And now let's put pattern number 1, 2, and 3 together. So once you're done doing pattern number 3, you'll now be at the cue point E position on deck 1. So from cue point E to F, we'll now be doing pattern number 4 on the second song, and this is it. With the tempo fader around this position, quickly drag it to the bottom and trigger cue point B. Then bring the tempo fader all the way back to the top and trigger cue point B again. And do all these actions together for a total of 4 times in double time speed. Then with the tempo fader at the top position, drag it to the bottom. And from the bottom, bring the tempo fader back up to the neutral position, all while triggering cue point B in beat with the opposite song. And once you're there, quickly slam the volume fader of the first deck to the bottom and let the second song just play out. So this is how pattern number 3 and 4 will sound together with the other song. Now before we move on to demoing this whole routine together, if you want to know how I made these edited tracks, it's through learning music production through Skillshare. I took King Arthur DJ's class on remixing dance music, digital production basics. There he teaches you how to remix songs and make them sound like your own. And those lessons are perfect for DJs who not only want to up their production game, but their DJ performance game as well. So if you want to check out that music production masterclass and a whole lot more, the first 500 of my subscribers to click the link in the description down below will get 2 free months of premium membership on Skillshare so you can explore your creativity. And Skillshare is an online learning community that offers membership with meaning. With over 20,000 classes in graphic design, music production, songwriting, and more, which are all fueled by passionate creatives like myself, you're pretty much set for life if you want to learn anything new, efficiently, effectively, and economically. Because an annual subscription on Skillshare just costs less than $10 a month. So make 2020 a year where you explore new skills, deepen existing passions, and get lost in creativity with Skillshare's online classes. And now let's put everything together and demo the whole routine. And that's it. So if you made it this far, let me know what part of the routine was your favorite and why. And if you guys have any other routine suggestions, please let me know via the comment section down below. And with that said, thank you so much for watching guys, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.